Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back here to another edition of Intuitive Angling, and thank you very much for making a little time to check the video out. I know that everybody has limited time and you can only watch so many YouTube videos, so thank you very much for visiting Intuitive Angling here. Guys, I got a really good tip for you, a really good video today. I'm going to show you my favorite way to rig and fish a summertime swim bait in a fashion you've probably never seen before. This is not the way people rig swim baits. It's technique specific. It works really good in the summer, specifically the months of July and August. So I'm going to go over in detail about how I do this. I've been catching a lot of fish on it about the last 10 years this time of year. Real quick, guys, I just want to remind you about a couple things we have offering here on the channel. We do a thing called virtual lessons here through Fish the Moment. And this is a deal where you can book a virtual one-on-one lesson with me over a Zoom call, and we can go over anything you want to talk about fishing, lakes or techniques or whatever. And I'll put the Fish the Moment virtual lesson link in the description, along with the summer Fish the Moment lake map breakdowns. If you're struggling to catch fish on your favorite lake, check out our lake map breakdown offering. So much appreciated there. Okay, guys, the technique that I'm talking about here involves a Zoom Z-Swim. This is a rib swim bait, very popular model. Probably been as many bass or more caught on this style of swim bait over the past 10 or 15 years. And most people rig it on a jig head. They use it on an Alabama rig or just some type of a ball head jig. Highly productive. But anyway, about 10 years ago, I got a chance to fish with one of the dudes that he got one of these that when Kitech very first started making them. This is the Zoom model, but the original one like this was a Kitech. Nobody knew about it. And he smoked me flipping and pitching this thing just like you would a jig or creature bait into heavy cover. I took it to the Potomac River like 2 months later and whacked them on it in an FLW tournament. I finished real high in the tournament. I think I made the top 10. I was catching fish right and left around everybody else that wasn't catching anything, flipping and pitching the rib swim bait in heavy cover. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to rig it up here, the setup that I use a little bit, and then explain how to fish it. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the setup. I'm flipping this thing most of the time on usually 20 to 25 pound test Seagar and VizX fluorocarbon line. I've got it on a Gamakatsu. This is the G-Finesse nano coated hook. This is right here is a 3/0 model. The 3/0's my favorite, straight shank. And most of the time I'm using a 3/16 or a 1/4 ounce bullet weight. I've tried different sinker weights, but it seems like the 3/16 and a 1/4 has the right fall. When this thing's falling on a 3/16 or a 1/4, this tail drags quite a bit, so it slows it down. And there's something about this weight size combined with this works really good. And then I do peg it because you don't want this thing slipping. So I use a toothpicks. Another thing, guys, I don't like bobber stoppers. I think when you put a bobber stopper on, all it does is it adds more visual hardware onto the bait, which is a strike deterrent. So I prefer a toothpick. I don't have any problems with it. It works really good. And the thing about a toothpick, guys, is you can control the tension that you put in here as far as how much you want it to slide or not. Like you can make it as tight as you want, or you can make it as loose. And the thing about a slip sinker, when you're rigging it on a toothpick, you want to make sure that it has a little bit of freedom of movement. You don't want it locked down super tight. You want it to be able to slide a little bit like that, because what happens when that fish jumps, this slinker will slide away from the hook, and you just have the hook, so you don't have the weight against the head that gives the fish more leverage to throw it. So that's my setup with that. Next thing I do, guys, I'll come through the bottom of the swim bait, probably about a 1/4 of an inch or so, I guess. Usually come out about like that. Come all the way through, pull it through until you got the keeper coming up right there, if you can see that keeper. And then I'm gonna come all the way through the bait, out the top side like that, and I'm just gonna lay it in there to where it's straight. Now I've experimented with a bunch of different hooks, but this is the one that's been best for me. So the setup sort of looks like that. This is the flipping setup. And like I said, you just sort of have to tweak it a little bit to get the thing perfectly straight. I like it as straight as possible. Colors, I use a lot of different colors. I prefer some type of the shad pattern like that. I'm not using the dark ones. Now I've got this paired up, guys, on a This is the Mega Bass Alkalies flipping stick here. I do use it on a flipping stick all the time. And basically I'm just pitching it and flipping it just around any type of shallow cover. Same type of deals that you use a jig, same type of setup that you use a worm. One of the best pieces of cover that you can fish in the summer months is if you guys have any type of shallow grass. Now the grass can be shallow milfoil, shallow hydrilla, it can be water willows, it can be gator grass, bank grass, whatever. But this thing is highly productive, flipping it and pitching it around grass. But also I've caught a lot of fish around just lay downs and docks with it. If you do happen to have flooded cover, like flooded bushes, flooded buckbrush, I've caught a ton of fish with that. And it's just a presentation that the fish don't see. It's completely different. I mean, it's the right length and profile to get a lot of bites, but there's something about this paddle tail, which very few creature baits or plastic worms has a paddle tail that gives it this look, this wagging look when the thing falls down. And I've just caught a ton of fish on it. I've talked about this a little bit in some of the past videos, but anyway, guys, this is definitely something that you want to consider in the warmer water months. For the most part, I fish it anytime the water temperature is like over 70, 75 degrees. It seems like it's a hot water presentation, which makes it work really good in the months of July and August. So anyway, guys, just another little tool for your arsenal. Hope you guys get a few more bites. Give it a try. I think you guys will catch some good fish on it, and we'll talk later.